Welcome to Echoes of the Steppe channel. Did you know that more than 100 different ethnic groups, nationalities lives in Uzbekistan today? Over the centuries, this land has become home to people from many culture, religion and tradition. One of the lesser known communities is the Mennonites, a unique ethno-religious group whose history in Central Asia began more than a century ago. In this podcast, we will explore the remarkable story of Mennonites in Turkestan, where they came from, why they left their homeland, how they settled in Central Asia, and what legacies they left behind. This is a story of faith, migration, and cultural exchange in the heart of the Silk Road. Let's begin. Mennonites in Turkestan, 19th century, early 20th century. The Mennonite movement emerged in the early 1530s during the Protestant Reformation in the Netherlands. It was founded by Menno Simon, 1496-1561, a former Catholic priest who became the leader of the peaceful branch of Anabaptism. Mennonites lived in religious and territorial isolation from surrounding population. Because of their beliefs, they had very limited contact with outsiders, except for business relations. They developed a unique settlement pattern, strictly followed religious rules, maintained a distinctive lifestyle, and possessed a strong sense of communal identity. Most Mennonites were farmers. Agriculture was not merely an occupation, but a religious duty, viewed as a fulfillment of biblical commandment. They were known for their dedication to hard work, mutual assistance, universal literacy, and their refusal to bear arms or serve in the military. Persecuted throughout the 16th century, Mennonites migrated to northern Germany, Poland and Russia and Prussia. However, by the late 18th century, deteriorating conditions Prussia forced them to seek new homes once again. Mennonites in Russia. In 1763, Empress Catherine the Great issued manifesto encouraging foreigners to settle permanently in the Russian Empire. New settlers were granted generous privilege, including freedom of religion, land allotment, and local self-government. These conditions were highly attractive to Mennonite communities. Another important factor influencing migration was the introduction of universal military service in 1874. Also, Mennonites were exempt from carrying weapons and taking military oaths. They were required to serve in forestry, firefighting units, which many considered incompatible with their beliefs. Migration to Turkestan. During this period, a movement known as the Brisen Mennonite emerged under the leadership of Klaus Epp, Martin Classen, and Abraham Peters. The leaders claimed to have received a divine revelation, identifying Central Asia as a place of refuge for their communities. The Governor-General of Turkestan, Konstantin von Kaufmann, approved their resettlement. In 1884, several groups of Mennonites traveled to the Sirdarya region. Many died along the difficult journeys, while others settled before reaching Tashkent. In the autumn of 1880, 71 Mennonite families arrived in Tashkent and were temporarily housed in vacant market stalls. Poor sanitary condition and cool weather soon led to widespread illness. As a result, the Turkestan administration accelerated their relocation. In March 1881, the Mennonites received 1,040 desettines of land in the Ur-Maral area of Auliota district in Kazakhstan and were granted to loan of 25 rubles per family. New settlement and economical life. The Mennonite founded villages such as Nikoliapol, Gnadendorf, Johannisdorf, and Orlovskaya. They engaged in farming, livestock breeding, horse breeding, cheese production, and various crafts. They introduced advanced agricultural techniques, improved livestock breeds, and became known for their efficiency and productivity. At the same time, they maintained a largely closed community carefully following their religious traditions. Their population steadily increased. By August in 1912, Nikoliapol had grown to 734 residents, while Orlovskaya had a population of 128. Not all Mennonites were willing to remain on the land assigned to them. In the summer of 1881, 30 families left Tashkent for Samarkand, hoping to continue to Emirate of Bukhara or if refused to move beyond Russian territory. The Bukharian authorities denied their request, citing shortage of land and water. Mennonites in Khiva Khanate. Unlike Bukhara, the Khan of Khiva welcomed the Mennonites. He allowed them to settle in the Akhmechet area and exempted them from tax and obligation for 4 years. The settlers quickly adapted to their new environment. They cultivated gardens, practiced weaving and crafts, repaired agricultural equipment, and built windmills and houses, some of which survive to this day. Relations with local population were friendly. The Mennonites learned the local language and customs and often spoke Little Russian. In turn, the people of Khorasan adopted new crops introduced by the Mennonites, including the tomatoes and eggplants. Also, the formerly remained subject of the Russian Empire. They later became citizens of Soviet Union after the establishment of Soviet power. Population. The Mennonite community in Akhmechet remained relatively small. February 1899, 140 people, 36 families. December 1906, 155 people. January 1911, 137 people. January 1913, 143 people. 1929, 280 people during the Soviet period. In the 1930s, Mennonites faced persecution because of both their religion and their ethnic background. According to local accounts, the residents of Akhmechet were once taken away during the night and disappeared without explanation. During the World War II, Mennonites were often classified as German, placed under special surveillance and assigned to labor battalions. It was not until the 1950s that their civil rights were fully restored. Who are the Mennonites? The ethnic identity of the Mennonites remains a subject of debate. Some scholars consider them Dutch, while others view them as Germans. A more accurate interpretation may be to regard them as an ethno-religious community whose homeland is defined not by nation-state, but by the settlement of their faith communities. Many Mennonites have historically considered themselves as chosen people, united by religion, culture, and tradition. This unique identity is reflected in official records, where many individuals identified their nationality simply as Mennonite or Mennonite, including some who were no longer practicing members of the faith. Their story in Turkestan remains a remarkable example of migration adaptation, religious perseverance, and cultural exchange in Central Asia.